So the network is new, and we were approached in I think August time by HQN to try and set something up, because there wasn't an innovation and technology network, and we at DTL were very, very happy to be asked about doing that. We are, so Dave Loudon, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, Stuart, who is here, who's our head of director of innovation. We've got Chris Milborough.
They got demoted then.
Oh, got Chris, who's our head of operations and marketing, and myself, lead consultant on collaborations and partnerships, or the other way around. So we are DTL, and just to make sure that I'm not talking the entire time, Stuart is going to talk a bit more about who DTL are, just to set the scene a bit.
Thanks a lot, Gabby. Morning, everyone. Yeah, so first of all, as Gabby said, apologies from Dave Loudon, who's our founder. Unfortunately, he woke up this morning feeling a bit under the weather, so I've been parachuting at the last minute. Literally just a couple of minutes about DTL Creative itself. DTL has been established for 10 years. It was actually our 10th birthday at the beginning of this year. And we're a technology and business transformation consultancy that operates solely in social housing. That's the only sector that we work within. And realistically, we do that because all of our backgrounds are social housing. I've worked for over 20 years in social housing, both in local authorities and housing associations at the front line. And, you know, for my sins, I did 14 and a half years at Capita. Please do not hold that against me. More recently, I've been working in technology startups, but again, in social housing. And, you know, within our consultancy base, we've got people with a long track record of operating within the sector. So that's why that's all we do. We only do social housing. We only work with you. And I think this little bit here, you know, we are leaders in the application of technology and innovation. We always try to say to ourselves that actually we're not really leaders, we're more thought provokers, which is probably part of why we were really keen to work with HQN on the innovation and technology network, because throughout our own practice, we're constantly stimulating and provoking discussion, thought and action within social housing when it comes to technology. DTL has kind of split itself into a number of different elements, which you can see on the slide there. We do frontline systems implementation and project management support. So we actually have people embedded in local authorities and housing associations within the teams, doing frontline implementations and being project managers. We've also got the wider sort of consultancy and advice piece, which is working with leadership teams and executives around IT, technology and innovation strategies. We've done recent work with some HAs about their kind of 5-year plan coming out of the back of COVID, and how technology can supplement and support coming out of COVID. General innovation, strategy, advice and consultancy, that's kind of developed over the past probably year, where we've created things like our Unconvention, our Uncon Breakfast community. We do all sorts of things that are then again trying to stimulate thinking around innovation, and that then leads into advice and consultancy support. And finally, we do a lot of stuff around business analysis and systems improvement. So we can actually come into your organization, look at your existing IT and technology estate, and just kind of give you a state of the nation approach, probably, which will then feed in more than likely into kind of long-term technology and IT strategy. That's about enough at DTL, I think. That's not what we're here to focus in on.
Well, thank you.
That's all right, no worries. I'm going to have to just switch my microphone and screen off because I'm expecting a call from my GP. So apologies, but I will still be on the call. Thanks, everyone.
So yeah, thanks again, Stu. And basically everything that Stu said about DTL is what we plan to really take into that network. because we believe that innovation and technology are connected, but are the same thing. So we talk a lot about technology and software applications and obviously housing management systems, but it's not the only thing. So because we've got the experience of technology implementation and advice, we also know that innovation isn't just about technology, and it's also about business transformation, about processes, about everything happening within a social landlord. And that's also how we know that innovation can and should come from everywhere and anyone in the organisation, because we all work with technology, we all work with the processes, and it doesn't really matter where you are in the hierarchy of your landlord, really, of your employer. You all have experiences and ideas and frustrations, thinking, surely this is something that could be done better or should be done better. And that's the kind of discussion and conversation that we want to facilitate and encourage within the network. We also believe that technology can and should be used for good, especially in social housing. There's so many tech suppliers and housing management systems out there that are constantly developing their services, and we want you to be involved with that as well. So so we can make sure that whoever is developing and designing these things does it for our customer's customer. So that's why tenants and the services housing associations provide to them should be central to every discussion and decision about introducing new technology or innovative ways of working. So we want every discussion, everything we have going on always with the tenant in mind, and that will kind of be the foundation of the network. And we will make sure we do that by asking our members regularly. So starting with this very session, for input and content on content and sessions that you would like to see at any level, from beginner to advanced, inviting people from across social housing at any level, including tenants where possible. So if you've got tenants that you are working with in your scrutiny panels, in your customer panels, that you know like to talk about this, have got ideas about technology, about new innovative ideas, get them involved, because we want to hear from them, and we think that everyone should want to hear from them. We also want to work very closely with the other networks. So one of the reasons this network was established was because there was a lot of talk in the other networks about technology, but it wasn't a centralized place. So we want to make sure that we work together with the leaders of these networks and obviously the members of these networks to talk about technology and how they can assist in whether it's tenant engagement, neighbourhood management, asset management, anything really, because in the end, most of the things that landlords do are nowadays being managed by using software and technology. So anything we can do to help there find new ways of doing things. And one of the things we pride ourselves in at DTL, and something that we intend to do in the network as well, is providing impartial non-commercial events with suppliers and providers, and where possible invite more than one to the same event to give balanced views. So we will organise sessions with housing management systems providers, technology providers and suppliers like sensors and IoT, augmented reality suppliers, but not because we endorse just one or a few of them. We want you to make the decision, and you to get in contact with these people and start talking to them and decide for your own organisation who would be the best fit. So we're not in the business of selling and endorsing just one supplier. Obviously we've got content to develop. We're just starting off, so it's very much of a journey. Like the other networks, we'll host webinars like this one and events regular networking options. There is to be an annual kind of conference, best practice groups, tech news, opinion pieces and blogs, Q&A opportunities and toolkits. And in the end, it's kind of all about what you would like to see and questions you want to ask or need to ask. Opinion pieces and blogs can come from you, not just from us. You know, we write, you know, if alive, we enjoy doing that stuff, but we want to write the stuff that you want to read and want to learn about. And for the kind of more education side of the network, we're proposing some core technology sessions, which are built up with 3 levels. So we want to start with level 1 kind of technology sessions on some proposed topics. So we've got Internet of Things, augmented and virtual reality, and chatbots and virtual assistants, which will then each have their own level 1, level 2 and level 3. Level 1 will be a very bird's eye general overview of what is, for example, Internet of Things, what does it mean, how is it applied worldwide, what's the thought behind it, what's been the development journey, and then level 2 is talking more about how that technology could and is already applied in social housing. It's where, for example, the suppliers and developers come in to talk about what they do, for you to ask questions, challenge them and some ideas or processes within these technologies. And then if that is something that you're interested in and thinking about actually applying within your own organisation, there will be level 3 sessions for making the case for insert type of technology, where we talk about how to develop a business case that's fit for your organisation, for your size of organisation, and obviously taking into account things like return on investment and value for money. So that's the kind of the backbone, the core technology sessions that we want to organise. But obviously related to, if we look at the kind of the Q&A opportunities with experts that we were planning to do, ask us any questions. We already had some questions through from the network, from other networks that we'll look to seek experts for, and then get you the answers really. This is the 3rd one of the sessions, introduction sessions, and we've already had some great engagement and ideas and people saying what they would be interested in. So interested in future sessions about remote inspections via live streaming. People said it reminds them of the ideas labs that were run a few years ago. A really great comment, we'll be looking into kindness with your programme as well. I know that sits within the whole kind of social housing and technology for good. We don't just want to talk about kind of the hardware and the software. It's about the ideas behind it and why you should want to do it. And if you decided that you want to do it, then how are you going to make it work for your organisation so you can make it work for your tenants? Obviously, it would be great to find out what new technology people are using now. So hopefully we can get conversations going between landlords and maybe some, when we actually get to go out again, people visiting each other and really taking a look at other people's approaches to learn from them. Procurement is a real challenge. Will there be help? Was asked in a previous session, but we hope so, that we can at least give some tips on how to start these kinds of things and how to kind of build the business case, like the level 3 thing. Level 3 sessions will hopefully be part of a big part of that. Training for new tech and information for the economic social governance frameworks. The sky is the limit really, and hopefully you will be able to kind of add to that list as well, not just today, but throughout the network's development over the next few months. And it can only grow into what it needs to be for you and for the sector if you tell us what you want. So that's where I'll leave him. I think we now got like 15 minutes for you to ask questions, share some ideas and requests. We've got Chris and Stu here as well to answer these questions. And I think that's it for the presentation, really. And I shall now end my slideshow and stop sharing. That should be it. Yes. So we have, we've got you can ask questions by raising your hand, I think, or is this not Teams? Or you can ask it in the chat as well if you'd like to use that instead.
We've got a question there in the chat already, Gabby.
Maybe can you co-host and read it out?
All right. So Karen Lewis has asked. There's been the launch of the Property Innovation Network through the Disruptive Innovators Network recently. The complementarity between the two networks. I'm not sure whether that's one an answer to. I'm not familiar with that network, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm not. I know of the Disruptive Innovators. I'm aware of them, but I don't know if John has some ideas about that.
Obviously, we have a relationship with Ian Wright, but it is driven through CIH and obviously through the Disruptive Innovators Network generally. So we don't have an actual partnership with them, but it's about crossover, I think, in terms of trying to look at what they're doing. I mean, I think the difference is we're trying to be very practical with this network. This is very much about day job and getting stuck with certain situations and trying to sort of unravel sticky problems and sort of very much helping people with the day job. I suppose I would see DIN as slightly more strategic and probably looking much further afield in terms of technology and innovation. I mean, and obviously we'll do some of that, but it'll be about bringing it closer to home as well and actually sort of practical application within the housing sector.
Yeah, I think just on that point about, I suppose the practicality of some of the training, particularly that we'll be delivering as part of this network is, you know, yes, disruptive, yes, innovative, but also applicable to what we currently do. And I think, you know, the tiered approach that Gabby set out in one of the final slides is really about that. It's about providing overview, then giving some case study and use case examples from the sector, but then at that level 3, getting really into the detail of how you can apply technology within your organisation to address problems. I can't really speak for the other network because if I'm honest, I don't really know a huge amount about it. But, you know, we are certainly not aiming at just people with technology in the title. You know, we're not aiming at people who consider themselves, you know, at the vanguard and disruptive, although those people are very much welcome into the network to help facilitate discussion and conversation. We want to bring people along who have got an interest in doing things better effectively. I think innovation often gets caught up in entangled with technology, although they both complement one another. Innovation's about ways of working as well. It's about, you know, how we do things, not just about the technology that we apply.
Yeah.
And I think that will be the sort of, I don't want to say the USP, because as I say, I don't know much about that other network, but it will certainly be a common thread within the network to facilitate best practice and innovative thought, as opposed to solely technology, although the two will combine.
Yeah.
Does that answer? I can't. Yeah, Karen, I can see you. Does that answer the question, or is there a follow-up?
Yeah, no, that's really helpful. I work for Riverside Housing, and we've just joined the Property Innovation Network. So there's literally been an inaugural launch event on the 26th of January. So clearly, you know, there is linkage, there is complementarity, but there are differences. So yeah, I really appreciate you answering that. Thank you.
That's great. And you navigated that word far better than I did. Complementarity, that's a tongue twister for a Friday morning. The only other thing I would say on that is that this isn't specifically about property either. It's about everything that we do in the sector. So this will cover things like customer engagement, and property will obviously be a factor, but there'll be wider areas about community management and, you know, bringing in things like digital inclusion for staff as well. So it'll be much, I think, probably much broader than that quite narrow remit around property.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No problem. Thanks for the question.
I got a question from Ewan asking when will these networks start and how often will they be? So I'm guessing that's the sessions, maybe. So the level 1 sessions that you mean, because the network is here and we've already started. The level 1 sessions will start from next month. We will release the dates probably somewhere next week for people to book on. There will be so far like one of each. So we've got Internet of Things, augmented reality and virtual reality, and the AI chatbot one. Obviously, if there's a lot of interest, we will seek to either expand the people that can book onto the session, or if it's really, really great, we'll just, you know, organise another one, because we do want these sessions to also allow for questions and to be interactive like this one. We don't want to just do a talking to and then you go, because we're all about conversation and collaboration. So so the level 1s will start from March, and then we'll add level 2 sessions in April to kind of the offer. So the level 1s will keep running on a regular basis as well, and then hopefully from May, June, depending on uptake and people who might want to know a bit more or progress already, at the level 3s in like May or June. Yeah. Anyone else?
So Guy Collars raised a question about give us a flavour of the types of innovation you've come across. And I think Gabby's already mentioned the 3 topics that we're going to cover as part of the initial training programme, the core technologies programme. So those are you know, VR and AR, chatbots and IoT.
I think Stu really wants to say something.
Yeah, Stu's got his hand up.
I can jump in and give some concrete examples. So to give you an example, Dave and I flew over to Sweden at the beginning of last year because I got a whiff of a company called XM Reality that was doing something with augmented reality, and after we'd seen it, we realized there was an application in social housing. This is pre-pandemic, and we brought them over to the UK and introduced them to about 3 or 4 housing providers. And literally 2 weeks after they came over to the UK, UK lockdown happened. And through that initial introduction and discussion around that piece of technology, I think it was an initial 4 HAs, mostly in Scotland, actually implemented the augmented reality, what they call remote guidance, to actually assist tenants in fault identification, simple fault repairs. And I think now, looking back almost a year later, there's a number of other technology vendors that have produced similar solutions, and I think there's probably upwards of 20 to 30 HAs in the UK now using that type of tech. So there's a concrete example of where, you know, we are kind of the thought provokers, the initiators. We find odd bits of tech or odd companies that maybe people would have dismissed or thought may have been a bit science fiction-y. But if we do believe there's an application in the sector, you know, we will come back and we will champion it, and we will work hard to actually get it introduced, you know, into our sector. Because, you know, this, as I said right at the beginning when I introduced what DTL is about, you know, we are from the sector, we're for the sector, And we really do believe that, you know, tech has a really intrinsic place within your organisations.
Absolutely. Is it worth me just saying about the Anglo-Dutch Innovation Lab as well, because that will, we've been running that for a while, but actually it will come under the new network. So if you're already an HQN member or intending to join the new network, the next workshop, so the Anglo-Dutch partnership is essentially UK associations and Dutch associations coming together to share sort of innovative ideas and best practice on all aspects of sort of innovation and technology. If I send you a link to the workshop program, you'll get an idea of the sessions that we're covering there. What we're trying to do is match up speakers from the UK and Holland around different themes and topics. So that will give you a flavour, and you're all more than welcome to come along to that if you've got time next Friday. So I suppose that's the first immediate date, and then obviously the network programme will roll out very soon as well.
Yeah, and yeah, on that, so as the name might have given it away, I'm Dutch myself. So if you are aware of any housing associations in the Netherlands that you've heard are doing good stuff, and you can't read their websites, for example, or a document, and you want to know more, you know, just pop me a message, and I'm happy to help out on that end as well, to translate or maybe try and introduce, because that's what the network is about. You know, hopefully we can all drag each other into that network, so to speak. It's also still kind of in its infancy. We've got quite a wide range of people already participating, but I think it's also that with the current situation, everyone moving from one Zoom or Teams meeting to another, it might get a bit drowned under, but hopefully once things get back to whatever kind of normal we end up with, we will find more ways to connect and to get more people involved who aren't tired of just another meeting or a presentation to go to, if that makes sense. Have we got a question from Nikki? How do we join the group? We're already HQN members, so maybe best for John to answer.
Yeah, it's very straightforward because it's open to all HQN members just to join straight away. So we'll follow that up with you and get you booked on. We've got about a dozen members already signed up, but obviously this is the 3 introductory sessions are about sort of raising the profile and getting people involved. But if you're already an HQN member, then it's very easy to sign up to the network. So we look forward to seeing you. Yes. And we do need to wrap this up because it is past our fast.
Oh, it's already. Oh, wow, that went really quick. So yeah, you're welcome to send us a message through the network. The recording of this session will go online, I think probably today. Yeah. We've got another blog from Chris coming either today or on Monday as well, which will kind of remind people of how the course sessions will be run and kind of the idea behind it, and then for you to hopefully share with your colleagues. And just a reminder, as Chris already stressed as well, is that this network isn't just for people in IT departments or with development in their names. We want everyone with an idea or who wants to know more, who wants things to go differently, to get involved. If there's any questions, my inboxes are kind of open by default, but I'll, I welcome any question or ideas, and get in touch and let's get talking.
Brilliant. So thank you everyone, and look forward to seeing you all soon. Various activities that we'll be putting on, but we'll be in touch. There'll be lots of information flowing shortly.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you all.
Thanks everyone. Thank you.